PETA, podcast every day in April, where during the month of April you'll hear about different topics and different stories and discussions that I have on my mind and on my heart to discuss and address for this month. It may be sports related, it may be stuff related. You may even hear some guests on the show that you may haven't even seen or heard from me addressing on the show. But this is PETA, and this is Podcast Every Day in April. Hope you enjoy. What is going on, y'all? The Pass is back on this Monday afternoon. Episode 165 is here. I am your host, BT, doing yet another episode. As always, like to share, if you are looking to get into podcasting, check out Spreaker.com. That is my source of downloads and uploads and handling podcasts on this page. And also, if you're looking to get a good microphone, definitely would recommend the Blue Yeti microphone. Have my moments where I have to remember to put it on the correct setting, as I did today. So there's that part. But luckily, with anything, you just kind of learn with time to do it the right way. And we also, if you want to listen to any episodes and you don't have the ability to go to Spreaker, you can go to passpodcast.com and you'll see the episodes listed in order from most recent to all of the previous episodes. And you just hit play there and you'll get the full listen just like you would if you were on the Spreaker website. And finally, as I like to share, the music is uploaded, shared through, thanks to Grimecraft. And my final plug, I'm like plugging everything because I want to make sure, because I did get a little bit of a reminder of this. If you go to my Instagram or Twitter, I do have a link for Linktree, which is linktr.ee/passpodcast. If you're looking for a certain way or a certain source of how to listen to any previous episodes or get any information from podcasting, go to that page and you'll see all of the links that I have for any of my major social media. I want to make sure I get everything in there because I don't want to leave nothing behind. So with that being the case, what are we talking about today? If you can tell by the title, that may be a slight giveaway, but today's topic is all about the mental recharge. And I am here to speak from experience and tell you all that the mental recharge is very important. Why is it important? I am going to give a couple of personal tidbits that I have found where mentally recharging has helped me, and moments where I didn't recharge has affected me. So a lot of times as humans, we are inclined to just kind of push through. We're on the go. We're on the go. We're constantly moving. We're constantly in our moments, trying to get things done, trying to improve ourselves, trying to better our lives, things of that nature. Totally understandable. Fully get it. The problem or the battle that arises afterward is when you're doing a lot of things, there are moments that you need to just kind of take a break and just legitimately sit back and relax. And the tough part is a lot of us don't know what relaxation is. Relaxation a lot of times can just be that moment of you just stopping, unplugging. I emphasize this and I talk about it on the podcast, and I just mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I may talk about and address everything as far as my social media, but the truth of the matter is there are moments when I need that disconnect from social media, sometimes from life. And you're going to have those moments occur, but you have to know how to handle that switch. And when I say handle that switch, that's obviously referring to knowing when to, take a break and just kind of shut down and give everything a rest. And when it's time for, okay, lights on, let's make moves, let's do the damn thing. I can personally speak from experience. I had an experience happen with me where I've been in the midst of transition and trying to start over. I'm not going to really put too much of my personal business in the street on this podcast because that's not what I'm here for. But what I will say is I was put in a place where I ignored the mental recharge. And by ignoring it, it caught up to me. So when that moment occurred of my transitions going the way they did, most people, when they hit that point, it's okay, let me just stop. Let me shut down. Let me just not acknowledge anything. And I'm not going to push forward. Whereas with me, because I'm so used to going and so used to doing, I just went ahead and was like, all right, let me make my steps. Let me start working on some things. Let me make something happen because I need to legitimately get out of my own way and get out of, as I've used the term, and I am not sure yet if I will be. I may have put it as a title, but it'll be kind of an odd topic to discuss as far as getting out of the bag, because I know that's going to probably be, what do you mean get out of the bag? I have that, and I will talk about that further down the road. But by nature, we get in our space and we just kind of want to just deal with that moment and not progress. Well, luckily with me, I'm one of those people who there's not really a pause moment for me, or I don't give myself an opportunity to really pause. There are some slowdowns and I used this reference with somebody before, and it's ironic since I'm using Audition as far as my recording software. If you look at how everything sets up for just recording, and this isn't just podcasting, this is just anything in general. Stop is there, but stop doesn't exist in some instances. We play, like, life plays through, like, things play through our head and we play it back and things like that. So that's us playing it back and kind of getting an overall view of what happened. Pausing is the mental recharge. Like, let me emphasize that. Pausing is the mental recharge. Like what I'm doing now, recording with you all, that's me going. That's me just saying, look, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into this topic. We're going to talk about what we got to say. We're going to get it all out on the table, let it be what it is, and keep it moving. And at times, that's okay. But in some instances, it's beneficial to truly take a minute or two and just pause and just kind of shut down from what's going on around you and just live your life. In some cases, that's easier said than done, because that then requires you to not just disconnect from, like, and I'm saying, when I say disconnect, it doesn't mean like you just cut yourself off from the world. It just means you take a minute and do something that you normally would not do, that's going to generate that immediate discomfort, but it's also going to help you as a person grow. And I am here to tell everyone who is listening to this podcast under my voice, taking that time to unplug and taking that time to just focus on you can sometimes be the best asset to your life. You don't realize the importance of it when you're doing it, but you realize the relevance of it in the long haul. I'm going to give a brief story about this, and I may have talked about this last year on the podcast. I believe I may have addressed this in when I did Podcast Every Day in August. So anyone who may or may not know, the Past Podcast website had a presence online, but it wasn't ready. So I decided at one point, I said, I'm going to go ahead, take some time away, unplug, unwind, relax. I probably worked on a podcast while I was there. I don't remember. And just kind of chill. Well, the chill time was worth it. It was beneficial. But the reason of me chilling didn't happen. So half of me was like, part of me was frustrated about getting things done. But the other part of me realized I also needed that time just to kind of unwind and relax a little bit. And I did. Since then, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've unplugged or just took time away. I'm sharing this, and I'm also saying this because I read a lot of social media statuses, and people may or may not know this, but I pay attention, and I'm just being Brian about this. Addressing that you need a mental or recharge is great. But taking that time to actually recharge and actually unpack the bag is even more relevant. Because what happens is, and I had somebody Unplanted, to my friend Tashar, her podcast, Unplanted Pod, I'm plugging again. She talked about this in a message she spoke on as a sermon in regards to how important it is when you have that bag, when you the bag, like people are the bag lady or the bag fellas, if you want to be technical, and you literally have to take that bag and let everything out. Sometimes we spend more energy carrying the bag and carrying those things that are on our mind and on our heart that we really don't take time to say, let me stop and really look in this bag and figure out what I'm carrying. Because some things, now granted, let me put this out there because y'all know I'm always tell it like it is. Ladies, y'all carry a lot of stuff in y'all bag. I ain't knocking the hustle at all. Because when it comes to certain things that people need, especially guys, y'all to go to. I will give credit where it's due. Not taking nothing away from that side of the coin whatsoever. The side that I'm talking about is those moments when you have carried your bag for so many weeks. I'd say for some people it might be days, but weeks. And you have things inside that bag that you really don't even need to carry, but by nature you're used to carrying it, so you have it with you. And you haven't taken time to say, let me go in this bag and really check and see what's going on. I'm talking about the bag, and I'm probably pulling another podcast into this podcast, but it will still be separate. But as far as you carrying that drains you. That's going to take a lot of energy out of you as a person. And in doing so, then that's affecting and that puts a strain on your ability or your likelihood of recharging. You want to think, I'll even give it in a more realistic scenario. Think of items that kids buy at Christmas. You buy items for your kids. Majority of them, whether people like it or not, are going to require batteries. To this day, I always wish when Christmas comes that I invest in Duracell and Energizer, but I always joke about that and it never happens. But think about those companies and buying those batteries for those items that you are going to need batteries for in order for them to function. Some items come with batteries. That's fine. The batteries that they first give you with those items, of course, are going to last for a while. And then eventually you need to recharge that item. Because if you don't recharge it, it's not going to work anymore. Same applies with us as humans. As humans, we automatically assume or think sleeping is recharging. That's not recharging. We need sleep anyway. Like, I've heard everyone go into the reference and get the storyline out about stay woke and all that. That's your personal preference. I'm not knocking you for what you say, what you do, how you feel. But as long as you staying woke, you ain't getting no sleep. And that's going to force you to need to really mentally recharge. But as far as just charging up you as a person, you have to put things into your mind, into your body, into your spirit that's going to give you the right peace of mind and put you in the right place. And it's hard to do that if you're not recharging yourself or taking that time to just unplug. Putting on a pair of headphones and going offline is not going to be the end of the world. For some reason, we feel like we're going to like this. I'm going to say this because I know I'm guilty of it myself. We feel like we're going to miss something. Facebook can be down for 4 months. You come back to Facebook, ain't nothing going to change in that 4 months. I hate to tell y'all this, but it's something you need to realize and take into account. Don't burn yourself out trying to keep up with what's going on externally when you have a lot of internal things you're trying to deal with. And that's really the main basis of what I want to share with you all today with this episode. Those things that are outside that can get to you and frustrate you and get on your nerves and push your buttons, that's what forces you to get into that stage and that status of having to take time to recharge. And by not doing that, you're missing opportunities of other things that you could be working on. Don't get it twisted. I push myself. I do a lot of things, even with me having things happen the way they did in my personal life. I still had other outlets. Obviously, this is one of them. My blog has been an outlet, like other ways of just kind of getting thoughts out there to other people. But every so often, even with me getting those things out to others, there are moments that I need just 5 or 10 minutes or a couple of hours to just relax. Put on some good music. Like, people sleep on it. Classical music is a definite go-to. I know I'm probably going to get copyright hearsay about it, but I'm a Robert Glasper guy. I listen to Robert Glasper's Pandora playlist, and it's my everything. If you have any streaming service, even if you can get on YouTube to do it, that playing the ocean music, play ocean music in the background. It really will give you that mental recharge of just taking a moment away for a second. So I'm giving examples, and I'm just saying different things to just get folks to understand and get everyone to understand. This is even for me, that it does not hurt if you turn off your TV or if you turn off your phone. Like, just now I got a notification that, I ain't gonna say it triggered me, but it's always intriguing when you play Words with Friends and some friends don't understand that you have a life. So they will play the I'm going to nudge you, but I'm not going to talk. I've never had any real interaction with you, but I'm going to break my neck to nudge you to hurry up and play a go in a game that's not real life. And as soon as I saw it, part of me was like, I wanted to send a message, but I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Number one, I'm recording my podcast. And number two, it's nothing. Me, whether I play my turn when he sends that specific message, or if I wait another 30 or 40 minutes, he still would have to wait regardless. So it's just something we fail to realize. But I'm sharing that part of it and just saying, like, putting your phone in airplane mode, you'll be okay. Yes, you may miss a call, you may miss something important in that moment, but if it's for your sanity, it'll be okay. Like, sometimes, like, people, and I know I said I was going to say this and then I'll be quiet, but I'm going to close with this and wrap this up. Ladies, even fellas, because I don't know if guys use the term or not. It's not the worst feeling to have a dry phone. I know that's like a weird way of saying or presenting that statement, but it's valid. For some reason, there's this mental frustration in our minds where we're like, oh my God, my phone is dry. Ain't nobody hit me up. Sometimes not getting hit up may be the best thing for you, because that could mean that you might just need to take a moment and let the phone continue to be dry. Because in most instances, the minute that you do unexpectedly or at some point get a message from someone, it could come from someone that you may not even want to have the slightest bit of bothering from. But then that comes in that option of, well, I did say I was having a bored moment of some sort, so having somebody reach out to me is appreciated. It's that side of it too. But I'm not gonna really bore y'all with too much, and I'm not saying that this is boring, because this is something that I have really grown close to, because it's an important piece of how and who I am. I function off of sanity and stability on so many levels, and a lot of people don't know that because they just look at it as, well, Brian, you're always doing stuff. Yes, I'm always doing stuff, but I'm also having those moments where shutting down and taking a break is not the end of the world. So I leave y'all with that, and I want everyone to just, I'm going to give you all a challenge, and I'm hoping if you made it this far through the podcast, it's appreciated. As I always share, comment, provide feedback. I forget to share this, and I guess I need to add this link as well. If you want to listen to any podcast if you want to listen to any podcast as well, or also, whichever term, you can go to my YouTube page. Under past podcasts. I have finally began to upload episodes there. Some may not have made it. Someone may be wondering. No, I'm just kidding. Some may have not. Some of them may not have made it yet, but I will go through and look to be sure that the episodes are there. But my challenge to everyone today is just take time away from things. And that could be putting in your headphones and listening to the podcast, which I would appreciate. But most importantly, just taking time to just focus on you. We are very good at talking about self-care, self-reflection, but we really don't do it. Start today. Yeah, I'm going a minute past my one last thing, but I wanted to share that before I get off the mic. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. Continue to tune in. Tomorrow will be our fave Tuesday show. I'm I'm truly making sure that I have the energy prepared for it because it's all I can tell you is just tune. If you are following on any social platforms, when that show gets uploaded, you'll definitely want to tune in. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But that being said, this is the past. We are signing out. And until next time, y'all take care. The one point of the show I don't like to reach, but every show must have an ending. So you have made it to the end of yet another episode of the podcast Every Day in April. Continue to tune in. These will be going on from April the 1st until April the 30th. And I will guarantee you that there will be plenty of content and more than enough information to share and address during this show. Thanks for tuning in.